So it's been a couple of days in the rat town. Um, this last couple of days has given you guys an opportunity to catch your breath, recover. To be honest, the last few days has been really a struggle. Like you've had the aftermath of the party, and the explosions that have happened there. You guys are dealing with Laura Pratt and the death of Cicero, and then the fight down the office building with the Nazis, and you're the last thing you guys just did was fought a Nazi cyborg. So you've had a hell of a couple of days. So a couple of days to rest. Rattown has been actually quite paradise, if you can have paradise in the sewer. I don't know if that was a Meatloaf song or not. Um, Slyxx and Balzac, you guys have been recovering the clinic. Balzac, they've been able to set your leg, and they did a quick surgery to the doctor. Was able to do a quick surgery, and you're fine now. You no longer have that broken leg to deal with. You still, it still hurts, but your leg is taken care of. Balzac, or sorry, Slyxx, they their hospitality only goes so far. The doctor was more than happy to clean your wound, your missing hand. He did some surgery on it to remove the damage from the cauterization, and he did a real closure of it. But they didn't give you any cybernetic implants. That's sort of the limit. They couldn't do that. But
I don't want these guys cybernetic implants. I'll save it.
yeah, but it's all your hand or your wrist is all bandaged up, and you've got some antibiotics into you. And every now and then the doctor's like, this antibiotics aren't easy to come by. You're outsiders, and we're doing you a huge favor.
Yeah, well, that's okay. And Slyxx goes into the little bag of pills that he took from the other dead Nazis underneath the parking lot, and he's just popping his own pills.
Yeah, you have no idea what those are, right?
No.
Yeah.
I know they make me feel good and forget the pain, but that's what I'm using is like, I'm like, I don't need your underground sewer pills. I'm okay. And I'm like, Balzac, it's okay. I got painkillers for you, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Shifting focus. So Tab and Alleycat, you've been given a room in like a small inn that they have, and the inn is basically like a Winnebago that's been sectioned off to like 5 or 6 different rooms, each room having like 2 bunk beds. So you've got a private room for yourselves with 2 bunk beds, and they've been friendly. They haven't really been like engaging you a lot of stuff. They just kind of keep their distance, but giving you hospitality at the same time. And you guys are just kind of like getting it's morning, and you've woken up and you hear a knock on your door.
Are you expecting anyone, Alleycat?
Unless it's Slyxx or your friend. No. He's your friend, Tab, not mine.
He's something. I don't know what he is yet. We'll see if he's a friend. Tab will go and open the door. A little peek
and
through.
It's Ralph.
Oh, hey, Ralph. How are you doing?
Oh, hey, Tab. I'm great.
You look better.
Doctors, right?
Right.
Yeah, I would have been. You pulled my bacon out of the fire, literally there. So, I brought you a coffee.
Thank you. Any chance you have 2 coffees?
And he pulls out. He goes in. He has a fanny pack, and he opens it up, and he pulls out another cup, and he pours half of it in. Yeah, 2.
Thank you. Do you wanna come in?
Well, sure, but thinking about getting your friends because, you slept in. It's actually almost noon, and the Rat King wants to have you for lunch.
You mean have us over for lunch, right?
Yeah, we're not cannibals. That's a little insulting, actually.
I just wanted to make sure. We've dealt with some very terrible people in our past, and it's always good to have information up front.
We're not bozos.
I'm very glad that you're not, because we'd have to kill you if you were.
I don't think there's more of us than there are you.
Ralph, Please forgive us. We've had some trying times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tab will hand Alleycat a half cup of coffee, and Ralph wants us to go have an audience with the Rat King. Do you need anything before we go?
And she kind of looks around and says to Ralph, would the Rat King be offended if we brought weapons with us, or should we leave those here?
I'd leave them here. Listen, Slyxx has a bit of a history with the Rat King, and walking in with a bunch of guns might be hostile. Just guys, don't let Slyxx ruin this. Don't let them get into a fight.
We'll do our best.
The last time Slyxx was here, he threw like a handful of mashed potatoes at the Rat King.
Just a handful.
Yeah, and gravy.
Okay, but was it a whole thing of syrup and or half a cup of cold coffee?
Okay, let's go get your friends. And he leads you over to the clinic where you meet up with Balzac and Slyxx. And you can see
How you been? Stinks down here, doesn't it? Don't get too used to this. We're gonna leave soon. Trust me. We'll talk to the Rat King, and I'll get us out of here. All right?
I think Tab and I will talk to the Rat King. Slyxx.
Well, okay. I mean, just be careful. This guy he's a real piece of shit. Okay? I don't want to I don't want to sugarcoat this. I have a history with this guy, okay? He's not nice. He's constantly insulting.
Okay, but we have Tab, and everybody loves Tab.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right.
So we'll just let Tab can talk to him, and you don't have to.
That's
So it'll work out.
Okay, fine. I don't want to. I want to preface this whole thing with genuinely, if I say something out of line, please stop me. But Tab, do your best, get as much information as you can. These guys work on favors, right? You've seen them. They don't want currencies. They want favors. He's gonna want something from us, okay? So just make sure you can just be straight with it. We got to get out of here. We don't want to spend more time down here. You could throw in this place is a little disgusting if you want. Anyway, I'll try and keep my mouth shut.
So Ralph, we should go, not keep him waiting. And he looks at Slyxx and goes, he made you lunch, so
I didn't eat it.
no, he made you lunch today.
Oh,
So be nice.
Okay, well, I'm not really that hungry right now. I had whatever that hot dog thing was earlier. I might be fine, okay?
I'll eat his for him. It'll work out.
Balzac isn't going to bring his golf bag, but he is going to pull a large wooden driver out, and he's going to use it like a cane because his leg was broken 2 days ago while it was set, and so he's going to take one step with his good leg, set the driver, limp forward. Take one good step with his good leg, set the driver, limp with his bad leg.
Right. So, Ralph leads you guys out of the clinic and through sort of the winding streets of Rat Town, and you pass different buildings. There's a school set up. There's various specialty shops. There's an armory set up and ammunition place. There's a barber shop.
While we pass all this, Slyxx is like,
yeah.
Don't trust that place. That school is for kids who have weird problems. That armory makes weird weapons. That barbershop cuts hair with rusty scissors.
There's a building that just says psychology and therapy. There's
that place is actually really good. I have a lot of friends that visited that place. It's hidden underneath here, but it does good work.
There's a Montessori.
I never agree with that. That's a weird alternative way of teaching your children.
And he leads you to this. It's like it's a school bus, but 2 school buses that have been like welded together side by side. And he knocks on the door, and the door goes opens, and there's a very tiny man, and he goes, "Are you here to see the Rat King?"
Yeah, who else would he be here to see?
Well,
there's no Rat Queen, is there?
How do you know that?
Look, I know. I'm a friend. I'm an old acquaintance.
I'll have you know the Rat King has been dating lately, so there might be a Rat Queen in our future.
Okay,
you don't know.
I'm sorry, even
or a rat consort. I don't know.
Look, I don't want to. We're here to see the king.
All right. Can I get your names?
Yes, my name is Slyxx Semaphore. And these are my friends. He's expecting us, apparently.
All right. Hold here.
All right.
And he gets up from the driver's seat of the bus, and then he opens up curtains and he peeks in. And he goes, "All right, the Rat King is willing to see you," and he opens up the curtain and he motions for you to go forward.
Before they go forward, Slyxx just leans into his friends and goes, "Again, this guy's a real piece of shit. We just want to get in and get out of here, okay?" Okay, here we go. Let's do this. And Slyxx just begrudgingly, almost like a child with a temper tantrum, kind of stomps up the stairs and, "Oh God, I can't believe we're doing this." And he's so begrudgingly doing it, but it's the only way out of here.
And as you enter the throne room, if you will, of the Rat King, it takes up the whole first bus, and there's a long table with benches all on that takes up the entire bus, and at the end is a lazy boy chair, and there's some food and there's some stuff set up, like plates and set up for a lunch on the long table, but at the very end is a man sitting with a top hat, and he's playing Settlers of Catan with like 3 young children, like 2 girls and a boy, and they're just having a great time. They're laughing and giggling. And he looks up and he sees you, Slyxx.
"Hey, Your Majesty! Long
Slyxx,
time
my
no
lad.
see."
I see you brought your wife and my kids.
What? No.
You come to grovel for my forgiveness for that whole potato incident?
I'm sorry. Me grovel for you? Maybe you have to grovel for me.
I think you're forgetting why you're here, young
okay.
man.
I apologize. Here, this is my friend Alleycat. She's a fixer as well. This is my friend Tab.
Hey, Tab.
This is a new associate of ours. His name is Balzac.
Yeah.
I got one of those myself. You get it? It's like it kind of sounds like part of the body, but it's not quite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you
guys
are
have a great time.
One of the young girls goes, "What's that mean?"
Like, okay, so you know when you're in school and your physical education teacher, and he's like, "Hey, everybody, we're going to go outside and we're going to play dodgeball." And he's like, "Go grab, like the bag of balls." You know what I'm saying? Meet me outside. It sounds like that is what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. Wink.
Oh, man. He says wink and then winks. "Look, Your Majesty, my friends and I are looking to get out of this hole in the ground. Your people have taken very good care of us. We thank you very much, but we're looking to get home."
Yeah. Let me tell you one thing, my lad. I got ears and eyes and noses and all kinds of different anatomical features all throughout this warren. I know what you said about my barbershop.
What?
All right. The scissors may be rusty, but they're sharp and my man can cut some hair like nobody's business. You're gonna be talking crap about my barbershop in my Warrens. You're not gonna get very far. That's what I'm saying. Your friends, though, they ask politely. Look at them. They're all smiling. They're all here to do some Settlers of Catan and eat some goddamn blueberries while you're here insulting my place. Is that how it's gonna be?
And in fact, the man from the top front of the bus peeks his head in and he motions at the kids. Come on, and the kids scurry out of the bus.
Wait, hey, take the game with you.
Oh, and one grabs that and he grabs the game and he's very carefully trying not to move like the pieces. And
I'm gonna kind of very gently bump him so he drops it.
And he drops it all over Slyxx. And the kid looks at Slyxx and goes,
I win by default.
For?
Because I win by default. You forfeited.
Come on, now I've got Settlers of Catan all over me. Come on. Now I've got bricks and what are the other things in that game? Bricks and clay and wheat all over my shoes. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you know what? I apologize for calling you barber. Okay? You know, maybe just get some new stuff. Hey, maybe I can hook you up with a new pair of scissors, okay?
You know what?
If you get us out of here, I'll get your barber some new scissors, okay?
You know, maybe you're not so bad, but there's still that whole thing with the spuds.
Look,
you know, mashed potato don't wash off easily.
Look,
well, I guess
if I remember correctly, it was you who spilt the gravy on my new crocodile skin coat, okay?
Yeah, but you're way too arrogant about that coat.
Yeah, but
thought
if
it made
you know
you
where I
sound
got
shit
it.
when you know what? Just because I feed you don't make me your daddy.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree 100%.
Just because I've been with your mama don't make me your stepdaddy.
You know,
you're not my real stepson, so don't talk to me like he is.
All right, look.
All right.
1 and 2
I
don't
even know
equal
what that
3,
means,
okay?
but I thought it sounded insulting. What are y'all here for?
We're trying to get home, man.
And you need passage. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, you probably could use a nice meal before you go, so have a seat around the table if you would.
And Slyxx is like giving this, like, don't eat the food.
Oh yeah,
Are there
don't mind
any-
if I do.
Are there any mashed potatoes on the table?
That's a good question. No, but we could get some.
Nah, it's all right. Too starchy. Thank you.
Balzac is going to limp toward the front of the table, and he's going to rest the driver against the side of the bus, and he's going to take a seat to the left hand of the Rat King, and he is going to sit down gingerly.
and at that point, yeah. Sorry.
Alleycat's gonna kind of take Tab and kind of push Tab in front of her to sit on the right hand of the Rat King and then immediately sit down right next to her.
And Slyxx is sitting all the way at the other end of the table.
That's probably for the best.
Slyxx, how you want your potatoes?
Just a water for me, thanks.
I don't think that's a good idea. You don't want to drink the water down here.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm good. Just a napkin.
I got some blueberries.
I'm good.
And at that, the man from the front of the bus puts his head in and goes, "Are you ready for the food, Your Majesty?"
Just about. As soon as it's ready.
Oh, it's ready. Anytime you want it.
Make sure it's piping hot.
Oh, it's
Greasy as
hot.
you can get it.
Very greasy.
All right, bring it on.
All right. So his head pops out and then he comes back and he's got a big platter, and he puts that on the table and he goes back. Oh, I got more. And he goes and he brings in. He's got a couple of bowls. There's like a green bean casserole, and there's some corn, and he puts that down. He goes, and don't forget the mashed potatoes. And he grabs the mashed potatoes and he brings it in, and then he kind of slips, and it pours all over Slyxx's lap.
that was what you call an accident.
Yeah, sorry, that was the total accident. And then the little guy hops up on the table, runs over halfway to the table, and pulls the lid off the platter, and it's a beautiful roasted Thanksgiving possum.
Well, who's going to say grace?
Your kingliness, this is so kind of you to feed us
Well,
in
you
such
know,
a
it's
grand manner.
the least I could do. You traveled all this way to do me a favor and all.
Yes, a favor. You have also done us a favor by allowing us time to rest here, and we've made so many friends. Like Carmine and Ralph are just great, and the lady at the diner, she was fantastic as well.
Well, I appreciate the compliments, and I hope you enjoy this here vittles we got on the table for you. Slyxx, why don't you lead us in prayer?
Slyxx puts one hand out in his stump because he's missing a hand and just goes, "Fuck you."
All right, let's eat.
And at that, the little guy hops down. He puts a plate in front of each of you. He cuts into the possum and puts a big hunk of possum on each of your plate. Then he grabs some corn and dumps a little bit on each plate, a little bit of the green bean casserole. In fact, then he goes back and puts another big dolloping on each of your plate. Then he goes over to Slyxx, puts a spoon down. He just grabs from Slyx's lap 2 big handfuls of the mashed potatoes. And he scurries over and puts a handful on each of your plates. He bows to the Rat King, and then he scurries away.
It's not that I don't appreciate your hospitality, but the potatoes that have been steamed in Slyx's ball bag, I have to pass.
Yourself.
Alleycat's just like carefully. Are there any utensils?
Oh yeah. It's
Okay.
all set up like beautifully, yeah.
Yeah, she's just very carefully with just like the back part of the spoon, just like pushing the mashed potatoes into the one corner of the plate, like a small child who is super picky and won't eat it, and is just otherwise just like saying nothing, making no facial expression, just like getting it away from everything else she plans to eat.
Excitedly for you, Alleycat, you see in the middle of the table, so there's like there's some juices, there's some soda, and there is the giantest pot of black coffee you've ever seen in your life. You even see that the pot is branded and it says Rosie's Diner.
You don't like when your food touches each other? Is that what's up?
Oh no, I can't have my food touching. It just I
Now we got
Childhood.
a tradition down here in the Warrens where you make a volcano out of your mashed potatoes and you fill it with your corn, and then you pour some gravy on it, and I'm telling you, it's delicious.
I'm Asian. We don't eat mashed potatoes.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, you don't have to eat it. It's just like a tradition and all. It's not like I'm going to be offended if you don't eat the food that I put out for you and all that my people worked all day to make for you and everything. And my farmers grew and my people went up to the surface for sunlight to grow these green beans. And we raided the shells for some cream and mushroom soup. And, it's not like it's offensive to us. Don't worry. You're not hurting my feelings or anything. It's all good.
Don't worry. Balzac will eat mine for me. He knows that, culturally, I just can't do it. And she just scoops the rest on Balzac's plate.
No, the ball bag potatoes is the one I had to pass on. It was percolated in his fucking lap.
Can we be clear? Slyxx is wearing pants, right?
He hasn't been wearing pants this whole time. No, he's wearing this nice dress pants. But just like the rest of his outfit, it's gotten all tattered and worn and ratty. He looks like he belongs with
You
these
say
people
ratty
now
like that's
because-
an insult.
And then from the far end of the table, like in the first Batman movie, where he's like, "Could you pass the salt?" You hear Slyxx like, "Now you know why I hate these guys."
So, Alleycat, is there anything else we could get for you?
Oh no, I'll just eat this. And she starts like shoveling it in her face real fast. She's
Alright.
eating like she hasn't eaten in like half a lifetime.
Your ratliness, you mentioned a favor.
Yeah.
A favor you would like us to do for you?
Well, I figure you're going to need my resources to get through my warrens and get to wherever you're going. Where are you going, first of all?
Well, home used to be Letitia Heights. We've got people back there that we'd like to check on if we can.
Yeah, I understand. Well, let me tell you a little story. You probably already know the story, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. And it's going to be embellished, and it's going to be full of hearsay, half-truths, outright lies, Rat King truths, also known as lies, and I'm just going to kind of wing it a little bit. But what you got here is I got myself a little museum, like down here in my house, my bus, whatever you want to call it. I got myself a little museum. It's called the Museum of Things That Aren't Yours, right? And in my Museum of Things That Aren't Yours, it's all stuff that's mine. But it's stuff that's mine that used to be someone else's. And so the more famous that someone else's is, the more, more it values to me personally. It's not like I'm going to worry about how much it costs up there on the surface or anything, but it's more about like my museum, and I walk into it and I look around and I'm like, hey, this is a pretty cool thing. It's got a story to it. It's something I can look at and I can think about it and I can kind of recall all the history and the memories and everything that went along with it. And y'all know a fella by the name of Johnny Silverhand, I imagine. You know who I'm talking about.
Only by reputation. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him myself.
Of course not. He ain't been seen for decades, if I'm not mistaken. But, and this is a big but, and I'm not talking about the kind of but that you joke about, but I mean like the interjection, like the part of speech that kind of like fits into the middle of a sentence and it kind of like directs you in a certain direction. I'm saying the word direction twice in the same sentence, now 3 times in the same paragraph, and that's embarrassing, but eloquence is not my forte. I failed kindergarten. Anyway, there's a gun. Used to be owned by Johnny Silverhand, right? And it's not that far away. I don't want to waste any of my own people going after it, though. You know how that is. And I'm going to pull this critter off my head for a sec because I like to stroke it while I'm talking.
Oh, man, there's been a snake on his head the whole time. Oh,
yeah. I mean, don't y'all have snakes on your heads?
nah.
Is that not fashionable up there on your fancy surface world? Huh?
We keep our snakes in planes up there, so...
We keep vitamin D on our heads, man.
The Nazis keep their snakes in their throats.
Right. Well, you ever listen to the band Samurai?
Love that band.
Heck yeah. Let's join in for a sec. Let's sing their greatest hit together, while we're eating dinner. I don't remember it because I didn't see them live back in the day, but I heard tell their concert was amazing. So, Slyxx, why don't you lead us?
Oh, and that was one of the first concerts I ever went to. I remember being a young boy. Me and my friend Hernando, we snuck in. And we paid off these guys. We paid some eddies to some of the roadies. We got to watch Johnny Silverhand from the side sing Bloodlust.
It's a classic.
Remember it go like, and then the audience would join in.
You're like, but there was like everybody was joining, not just 2 people. It's like,
and that's right. And there'd be like a choir of people screaming.
Yeah. It like everybody, even
at that point, the little guy,
they're like kitty cats and stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
The little guy pops in from the front of the bus, and he's got a samurai T-shirt. He's like, "Bloodlust."
Yeah, man, this guy gets it. All right.
Yeah, man. Hey, get yourself a plate of food while you're in here, my man.
Okay, thanks, boss.
Sure
and
thing.
He grabs some potatoes off of Slyxx's pants, and he grabs a handful of possum meat, and he just starts.
Oh, that's whatever. Do your thing. It's all good.
And then he turns to leave. Bloodlust.
Everybody.
Wow.
That's my 3rd favorite kind of lust, if I'm being honest.
What's your first?
I don't think we're in proper company to discuss such matters.
Fair enough. Your Majesty, Slyxx gets up from the end of the table and walks over and brushes off the mashed potatoes from his pants. He's like, if there's one thing that brings people together, it's music.
You know what, Slyxx? You all right? You know,
You too, my man.
I'm gonna come on, get yourself a manly embrace. We'll do that thing where we hold and we like pat each other on the back.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
a
we're
good
beating each
idea.
other
Yeah,
up at the same
yeah.
time.
Do that thing where we grab each other's like hands in the middle and put arms over our back.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah,
So we do that. We do that. So it's a little uncomfortable. These are two old guys who are heads of their society. You know, they're kind of. It's like mayor to mayor, or
Yeah, it's like the mayor of New York to the mayor of Value City, but it's the mayor.
Yeah,
mayor
it's mayor
regardless.
nonetheless. You know, we know these duties. We share responsibilities, and not share responsibilities, but we have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of people to take care of.
I spent a long time thinking kind of mean thoughts about you over the past several years, and it's kind of time to let gones be gone, or whatever they say. The people say about that.
Yeah,
So,
I spend a
I
lot
got
of
one.
time up on the surface, really saying some very negative, hateful things
Yeah.
about you people,
Whoa.
And to be
Let's
fair,
see, Phil.
below the surface as well.
Yes, I mean, I didn't let any type of terrain stop me from saying terrible things about the rats, but you know what? Your Majesty, I really want to thank you for your hospitality. We've been through some brutal shit. And I'm not talking literal stuff. I'm talking very metaphorical, brutal shit.
like metaphorical. You
Like,
mean the shit is metaphorical or the brutality?
I would say the brutality is the most real thing about it. The shit is the most metaphorical thing about it.
Okay, so it's like stuff, like actions, phenomenon.
Yes.
All right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to bring me that gun, that famous gun. The Malorian arms. You hear of it? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're
Everyone's
talking
heard tell.
about. Okay, hold on. I might have to just take back everything I just said. You want us to bring you Johnny Silverhand's gun?
That's right. That's right. For my museum of things that aren't yours.
Oh, come on. Look, all we need to do is get home. Letitia Heights can't come
I know. It makes someone whine a lot, but the thing is, like, I've got resources to expend here. If I'm gonna have my friends lead you into dangerous territories through, tunnels that my people dug and excavated and mapped out, my cartographers spend their time. You're not just paying for directions here. You're paying for years of education, dedication, talent, hard work, gumption, elbow grease, and whatnot.
I get it. Oh, my God.
You know how
Slyxx
much
leans
jar
to you.
elbow grease goes for up there nowadays?
I get it.
Alec,
You guys are getting off easy.
Wow.
Alleycat, you know what I'm talking about?
yes, Your Majesty, sir. And she's like raising her hand like she's in school. And there's like no food left on her plate at all because she dumped the potatoes and just like shoved everything else in her face. And she says, do you know where his gun is?
Yeah.
To tell us where we need to go.
You ever hear of a corp by the name of Mr. Bates up there in the corporate residential zone?
Is that a bad telephone gag?
No, it's not. It's not a telephone gag. And that's
Ah.
Mr. Bates.
I see.
Yes.
I'm sure he had a
Paul.
fun time as a child on the playground.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Some people aren't blessed with such glorious names like you and I. When Mr. and Mrs. King decided to name their child Rat, I kind of lucked out there. And I imagine when Mr. and Mrs. Cat named their kid Allie, it kind of makes sense, right?
Indeed.
You're telling us this gun is all the way up where some corpo lives? Look, we just got back from Arizona. We don't.
I know, it's a pain in the wazoo. I understand, right? I get it. And if it was easy, I would have already done it myself, right?
Yeah.
But as you've seen, look, we got children down here playing Settlers of the goddamn Catan.
Yeah.
We got barbers using rusty scissors, right? We got people eating with their hands.
Well,
if we could afford forks down here, you think we'd be sending other people out to get our historical artifacts? Question mark.
So
That's
Slyxx leads
the
into.
deal. You go up to Mr. Paul Bates's place up in the residential zone. It's how hard could it be? You just bring me back the Malorian arms. I put it in my museum of things that aren't yours, and I have some of my people show you the way back to Letitia Heights.
Yeah, that's from my perspective, that's very convenient. I have to go to the corporate zone anyway with Slyxx.
See, it works out.
Yeah.
Alleycat is glaring at Balzac across the table.
Who wants some
She's
blueberry pie
glaring.
for dessert?
Ab immediately raises her hand.
Fantastic.
Don't
Here.
eat the pie. Don't eat the pie. All right, we'll do it. We'll go find your freaking gun for you.
Well, it's not my gun yet, but once it enters my museum,
I can't.
beware the blueberries with legs.
And if I might ask, Your Majesty, which corporation does Paul Bates work for?
Very good question. I think that's information that you might have to find out because I honestly do not know. I got side-handed information, right? It came to me through one voice that heard it from another voice, It goes back and forth, but I do know his address, if that helps.
That would help immensely. That would save tons of time.
I got it written down right here in my armpit.
Oh.
70. That's the number 7 followed by the number 0.
Yeah.
Mercer Trail. Mercer Trail. Up there in the residential zone.
So, wait.
Where the residents live.
He lives in Beaverville in the Corpo Zone.
Now that I do not know.
All right, well, this is all very good. Great.
Oh, did you say Beaverville?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sounds familiar to me. I think you're correct on that.
Right. So we'll go there. We'll get the gun. Slyxx and I will go do a thing that we have to do, and then we'll bring you the gun. It'll be a great day for all concerned.
Grand, groovy, super.
How hard could it be?
Well, if you're talking about the Mohs hardness scale, I'd say it's somewhere between pumice stone and diamond. Somewhere up there.
That is a big fucking range.
I suppose it is. But
that's a sliding scale.
Well, that's because not much is known. You know, we got an address, we got a name, and, you know, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you, I guess.
Slyxx, my man. You all right?
Wait.
You know what? When all this is over, King, we should do some dealings. I think we can help each other.
I don't feel like we're doing dealings right now.
Yeah, I know, but I mean sort of more legit thing. This feels like sort of some weird blackmail, you know what I mean?
This isn't blackmail. What you talking about?
Not blackmail. Blackmail's the wrong word, but...
That used to be my street name, by the way.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah. Different life, different times.
Huh.
Yeah. So, how you enjoying the blueberry pie?
Yeah, it's right delicious. Where did you get the blueberries from?
You know, here and there, around and heck, they're not. They're not even blueberries. But don't ask too many questions when it comes to the blueberry pie. That's my main recommendation.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, blueberry pie with a side of ball potatoes. Okay, so Mr. King, you know that this man has the gun. Do you know how he came into possession of it?
Let me see if I can jar my memory a little bit and see if I can come up with any knowledge that references such a question. I'm gonna kind of talk to myself because that's what I do, you know.
Yeah. So, do you? I don't even know how to phrase this question, but is it true that back in the day you worked with the Gloria Fenster gang?
It seems like a personal question, but yeah, we're acquainted. If that's your question.
Right. Never mind then.
So wait, I'm hearing something from my network. You know, I got my rats scurrying around all over the place. Someone's whispering in my ear right now. What's that? What's that little fizz gig? What'd you say? Oh, yeah. So the thing about Mr. Paul Bates, he is a huge ass samurai fan. Not that he himself is huge, like large in stature, but he's a big fan. He's a celebrated fan of samurai, and I believe he had his people search the ruins of Arasaka Towers search of the the pistol we are talking about here, and that's how he came into its possession or possession of it. I'm not sure what's the correct grammar.
Wow. So we're gonna have to steal Johnny Silverhand's gun from the biggest samurai fan.
Yeah, I mean, how hard could that be?
It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be very hard.
But like I said, I mean, it builds character, right?
What? I don't need to be. Hey, you know.
I mean, we don't have to go to Letitia Heights. We could just go to the corporate zone and then go somewhere else if you want.
It's true. I mean, you know, we could.
We're going back. Balzac.
We have people there. You might not have people, but we have people, and we take care of our people.
Slyxx does not seem very excited to go get the gun. I am just postulating the counter argument that it may not be necessary. If you believe it to be necessary, I'm not the one you need to convince. I don't fucking care. I have to go to the corporate zone anyway. But he's the one you need to convince.
Nah, I don't need any convincing. All right, I just.
Salty.
Slyxx, if you're afraid, you could just hang out here with me while your friends go fetch it. It doesn't matter to me who gets it as long as it ends up in my museum.
I'm not afraid. Why would I be afraid? You know what? Let's go right now. You want to go get
Something
the
around
gun?
here
I'll go
smells
right
like someone peed themselves.
Slyxx, let's not go now. Maybe we could have a few days to prepare for this. Get a plan together. Maybe Tab could do something about your hand.
Wait, Tab, you could build me a new hand?
I can try like hell. I will try. I'm gonna get some theme music, and you're gonna have a brand new hand.
Oh,
Maybe get a haircut while you're here too.
yeah, I know. I like my hair. I'll keep it the way it is. But thank you very much for the offer. All right. Well, thank you, Your Majesty.
Pleasure's mine.
Indeed.
All right, so we're going to go get the gun, do some other stuff quickly in the corporate zone, come back, give the gun to you, then go to Letitia Heights, do some other random shit. Is that more or less the plan?
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, what the fuck are we waiting for?
I think it was something about a hand.
Oh, right, yeah, he's one handle.
We gotta prepare too. We don't have any weapons. I mean, King, we can use the.
I got some rusty scissors you can borrow.
Yeah.
That's what's called a callback in the parlance.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
It's funny because you earlier were talking about
Exactly, right.
The rusty scissors, and then the Rat King said, I can give you some rusty scissors because...
Yeah.
I picked up on it. I'm not...
You all right, Balzac?
Thank you.
Well, this is always awkward, the last minutes with the Rat King, so I guess we'll take some mashed potatoes for the ride.
Yeah, get yourselves a doggy bag on the way out.
Still passing on the ball potatoes.
All right. Thank you, Your Majesty. Much obliged.
Yes.
We'll see you as soon as we have this freaking gun.
All right, then.
And Slyxx turns around and walks out, still brushing remnants and picking off mashed potatoes from his crotch.